reconvene and discuss. Was there anything that occurred between points that would have made any of the points scored invalid, and on any of the 5 points that were scored? So there was no violation of the rules that would have invalidated any of the points? Alright then. Please align the fencers so that we can play a match and conclude the event.
Do what?
Get them on the lines for salute and dismissal. Alright. Well, we need to declare the winner.
Alright.
We need to declare the victor. Declare the victor.
Oh, who was the victor?
Team B was the victor.
Team B. Team B was the one on that side.
Yes, that was Team B.
Congratulations to everybody that played, and we'll see you again next year. Don't go when you have to play.
Alright, it's recording.
Alright.
Got me?
Yep. I'm going to still Kelly for like 5 or 10 minutes so I can listen to the
I am myself Colin Lewis. If you're watching this, you probably know that because you're from my Philosophy Professor been what you just witnessed, or maybe if I've said this before, you will witness, was our sport project, myself, Bashir, and Matt put together. I was the only one who could be here tonight, so I did all the filming, terrible as it is. Obviously, things did not go exactly as they're written on paper. Let me explain. Fencing is a very expensive sport, and because the sport we created, which we are tentatively calling Capture the Standard, we haven't actually got a name for it yet. You'll have that in the final report. We didn't really have all the resources we needed on hand, so we did the best we could with what we had. Obviously, this space that we have shouldn't have any of the pillars in between it. It should be 50 by 70 meters, like I said. The fences we're using foils, not at-bays, which is what I outlined in the rule sheet for equipment. We don't have enough at-bays to go around. We didn't even have enough fences actually to make full teams of 7 on each, or to have enough judges to go around. But this just kind of happens, and I hope you can understand that, because the actual essence of the sport, the way the game is supposed to be played, I feel was actually pretty well demonstrated here. You saw, two teams going at each other. It's a combination of skill, athleticism, tactics, and what seems like a relatively simple task, but as you could tell, the score was only 2 to 3. It was a 5-point bout within the 15-minute period. Obviously, this would be different in 15-minute periods, but I want to point this out. In the direct elimination fencing match, the bouts are 15 points. So, I don't know, 5 points scored in a 15-minute period, 3 times, 15 points. All seems to go together pretty well for me. Now, of course, the teams were 7 on 7. And of course, if we had the number of judges we had and actual electrical equipment so to drive out, things would probably be scored a little bit differently. But pretty much everything went smoothly. There was no major violation of the rules. What you saw a few times that stopped the match were tips flew off of the foils. This is actually dangerous to fence without a tip. So we had to stop the match, put those back on, make sure everything was A-OK, and to make sure that everyone was safe so no one gets any nasty cuts or ailments or loss of organs. I think that's pretty much it. If you have any other questions, you can address me in my final report and the actual rulebook. But for the most part, this was our sport, and I hope you enjoyed the demonstration you got. I'm going to also include somewhat of an interview with some of the people we had competing and get their opinions, and hopefully you will also enjoy that in our bonus commentary. Thank you. Hang on. Okay, it's rolling. So what's your name? Hi. All right. So you just participated in our wonderful sporting experiment. What are some of your reflections, impressions, comments, critiques, ideas?
I thought this was a lot of fun. Like, the structure is really good, and it has a lot of potential to be a really good game. But for me, the one issue is like the dead spots when you were tagged out were all along here, and also where the sword was. So you could be prepared to attack somebody, like even though you're out.
Yeah.
So perhaps like it made it like little end boxes or like some corners somewhere, so that if you succeeded in getting people out, they wouldn't be there, and you could actually get the sword. But,
yeah.
But I mean, it obviously still worked though, because people were able to get points and everything. But that's just why.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, go for it. Me? Colin, yeah. What were some of your impressions of the way that the sport was structured, the way it was executed? Did you find it enjoyable? Was it, did you think it was an actual viable sport?
I think it could be a team sport. I don't think it's going to the Olympics, but it was a lot of fun.
Good. And you are?
I'm Ben. I also participated in Capture the Saber.
In this rendition, it was Capture the Saber. We'll go with that.
The rules are pretty easy to understand. At first, everybody's kind of chaotic about it. Then you started seeing some more structure. It would be good, or as it is right now, it leaves it loose enough so that the team can develop their own structure and tactics. It would be good to give them some ideas, though, to set them in the right direction. You know, like maybe tell them, copy a soccer team.
Yeah.
Forwards, middles.
Yeah. I mean, ideally, you would have more time to prepare this a bit. You wouldn't just kind of be thrown on the spot.
And the only really annoying thing that I guess with more time you'd be able to figure out a way to counter it is the tag end zone was right next to the
Right. Yeah.
So you could tag somebody out, and then you got them out of your way. But then to grab the saber, they could tag you immediately once you grab it.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
Good. Glad you guys enjoyed it. Thank you.
Yeah. Think you'll be able to give another one?
Okay, I'm here with my friend Robert. He is, I guess the title is president of NC State Fencing Club. Thanks to him and all of his friends, this was actually made possible to begin with. I hope this is picking up my voice. Robert, you just made possible this first in sporting history, somewhat.
Absolutely.
What were your impressions of the event, its execution, its structure, playability, viability as a sport? What do you think?
Well, I think it worked out pretty well. The one thing I would recommend is shorter periods, because with all the running back and forth, people are starting to get tired.
Right.
And it's nice to have a couple minutes to take a breath, to take some water, to take something. So shorter periods might be an improvement. But of course, it's something you have to see how it goes. You don't want things to really go too long. But otherwise, things seem to work out fairly well. As long as you watch out for safety, things like tips that went off the weapon. It was good to catch that. You need people, maybe a couple more referees if we had them to watch for things like that.
Right, and of course, ideally we would have, but...
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But, as long as people are safe and things are going well, it seemed like everyone had a good time.
Good.
So,
Right. Well, again, Robert, thank you very much for helping out with us.
absolutely.
And I'll probably see you around.
Sure.